back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're seeing this face for the first time, my name is Tels. I'm a Lagos YouTuber. I'm a banker. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I give my unpopular opinions about issues on this channel. Talk about finance, talk about household issues, you name it. I just want to enlighten people and I want to learn from people as well. That's why we have the comment section. So if you have a point or an opinion contrary to what I have to say, please put it in the comment section so we can deliberate and talk. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. So let's get right into it. Today we're going to talk about the socioeconomic effects of Asuu strike. If you're in the diaspora or you're not Nigerian and you don't know what Asuu means, Asuu is A-S-U-U. It means Academic Staff Union of Universities. Now this is a body that governs the academic staff, in the universities currently in Nigeria, excluding the private universities. So we have, we also have the non-academic, which is NASU, but this is Asuu for the academic staff. And they've been on strike since February. Once the lecturers are on strike in the university, in turn, the students are also on strike. So I want to let you know, if you don't know, that since February 2022 till now, students in universities in Nigeria have not been learning anything from their lecturers. Educational activities have been put on halt. I think this, February, around May, it was also rolled over. It was supposed to have been called off, but it was rolled over because the government did not meet the demands of the staff. So what is the effect of this thing? Because we cannot just be idle and looking at it and saying, okay, the students are at home, they're chilling. What is actually the effect of both the economy and both the students? Now, these students, not all of them are being trained by their parents. There are some students who, while I was in school, I know a couple of students who paid their tuition by themselves, who paid for hostel accommodation by themselves. The people who owns these hostels, most of them are independent of the school. So if I pay you a 1-year rent and I say, okay, I'm a student, I want to live in your house for 1 year, my 100 level, and for 6 months, because if you calculate from February till July, it's close to 6 months, and for 6 months I have not been in school. The next 6 months, if the landlord will come and ask you for a renewal of your rent, he will not say, oh, because you've been in, if there's been Asuu strike for 6 months, okay, I'll give you extra 6 months to complete a year. No. That's just one of the things that is killing me. That these people, it's going to affect the students, especially those training themselves, the high costs of especially things in the market at the moment. Okay, let's even break it down. Now we've talked about the renewal of their rents. 6 months is already gone. That is just, that one is by the way. There's nothing that can be done about it. And most of these schools don't even have hostels for the students. And even those that have hostels for the students, the amount is just ridiculous. Anyway, that's by the way. I also want to talk about the high dependency ratio of the youths on their parents. Now, those ones whose parents are, available, obviously the parents cannot be sending them money in the hostel and saying, oh, okay, my child is in the hostel, but the school is not on session. Okay, let me send the money home. Obviously, they'll tell them, come back home. Since there's nothing going on in the school, come back home. The household disposable income now has skyrocketed because food supplies in the market are so expensive. So me, for example, in my 3 children who are in university, I'm giving an example, my child is still a toddler, and it's just me and my husband that is in the house, and maybe we are sending them stipends for upkeep. By the time they come back home and not do anything, they say that person when they work now in the choppers. That's the truth. These children are now at home with their parents, and the money the parents will have to start coughing out for feeding would have to increase, whether they like it or not. These children have to eat. They cannot starve. They're not the cause of Asuu strike. So that is another effect, which is also deepening the pockets of the parents. That aside, therefore those who are even in the hostel, maybe they cannot even afford to travel. Maybe they are staying in a different state from their parents, and they cannot even afford to travel, and they just assure their parents, Mommy, don't worry, I'll be fine. Do you know the dangers that the school is not on session and these people are there by themselves? Most of their friends have left. Do you know the kind of dangers that lurk hostels where they know that there's a prey there? Surely all these, scumbags that hang around female hostels, when that there are few there. Do you know the dangers that these students are being exposed to? These are the things that government needs to even think about. Aside from that, let's even look at the academic aspect. You know, by the time they now resume, do you know how they will rush their calendar year? I remember when I was faced with this dilemma. I think we had like 4 months Asuu strike. I was supposed to do a four-year course, and I ended up graduating 6 years, close to 6 years after, because I went to a state university. You know, a lot of people say, why do you put your children in state university when, you know, in Nigeria is not, especially when, if you want to get a private education in Nigeria, it is so not cheap. Even the religious bodies that are supposed to be creating universities that should be accessible to its members, not lie. It's so expensive. Now, there can also be loss of interest in continuing the program, especially those that are doing part-time jobs, part-time learning, or all this sandwich learning, or this learning that is not full-time. They might see something, you know, that is occupying their time, and by the time the Asuu strike is over, they might lose interest and say, what's the point of continuing this thing? I'm already earning so and so. You know, they might lose interest in it. That's another reason. That's another effect. Then also poor academic performance, like that one is even a given. I remember when I resumed, because I had to learn a skill. I had to learn 2 skills during that period. I learned how to fix lashes, and I also learned how to I knew how to make beads before. Then I started learning how to make beaded bags and beaded belts, accessories, you know. So that's even a given. By the time I resumed, like my state of mind was not even in the school anymore. I had to now recondition my mind gradually before I started, because when we resumed, we just did few lectures, and the next thing, you know, we started having continuous assessment, CA tests. They were bombarding us back to back with tests. It's really not easy, you know, after 6 months of being idle, or after 6 months of not even keeping your brain busy, someone is not giving you tests to run. It takes grace. Then also, this one I should even break it down. Underemployment. Now, for example, I'm supposed to have graduated when I was in, I graduated at 21, thereabout. I was supposed to have graduated at 19. Yeah, I was supposed to have graduated at 19 because I got into the university before I was 15. So I was supposed to have graduated at 19. So imagine if I was much older, and there are jobs, for example, there are some banks that don't even collect greater than 22. There are some banks that don't even, you understand? So if I had stayed longer in the university based on the strike and all whatnot, I wouldn't have even met up some age requirements for some jobs, for some specific jobs. So this thing is actually affecting the economy one way or the other, but we don't know, or we know, and the government is just trying to, you know, frustrate our efforts. It has spillover effects on the economy in multiple ways. By the time people struggle to graduate, especially the final years, those in final year now, by the time they resume, they struggle to graduate, you know, and they're pushed into the labor market. You realize that they are not really the great stuff. I'm not you know, bashing anybody, but you know, staying at home for so long and you're out in the market, they won't really give their all compared to when your brain is on fire and you finish school, you know, get a job. That's why people complain about the kind of graduates that they receive. I'm not to also complain, because I remember when I went for a marketing storm. I was a marketer before I left that unit, and then we went to NYSC to open accounts for corp members. Lo and behold, the kind of questions that these people are asking me while filling the form, I was ashamed of myself, because I'm a graduate, so they are representing we graduates, so I was ashamed of myself. There was one that did not feel anything mother's maiden name, and I asked this guy, I said, you know your mother's maiden name? I didn't even blame him for not knowing. My question was like, okay, why don't you call your mom and ask her, because it has to be an accurate information. And what he could reply was, my mother does not have a maid. And I was like, I'm sorry, mother's maiden name, your mother does not have a maid, what's the correlation? He was like, mother's maiden name, mother's maiden name. I said, no, guy, no, don't do that, no. I felt so bad. I was like, the name your mother was bearing before she married your father, guy. You know, this is the kind of conversation I should be having with a 5-year-old, not a graduate. So many other instances that, but you clearly see there, date of birth. Date of birth. It was not even shortened DOB. It's written there, date of birth in full. And you end up putting today's date. How? Were you born today? You know, so many other instances that you see surname, first name, and you still put your first name in your surname, and you still put your surname. We were just having issues with them because their BVN information obviously will not match with the information they put on the form. I was like, and these are supposed to be graduates, man. These are supposed to be graduates, man. A friend of mine postulated something one day, and he said that the government is actually enjoying this because now they have access to political thugs. Really, if you think about it, because now the youths are available to do their bidding, you know, help them with their political campaign, whatnot. But I just pray that they just look into the educational system sector and, you know, settle these people so that these people can resume, so that the academic staff can resume and these students can go back to school. I feel so bad, like I feel so bad. So what can you do whilst this strike is on? Like my fellow, hey guys, sorry, the ending part of that video got corrupt, so I just want to end the video here by saying that if you're a student currently experiencing Asuu strike, please do not be idle. Do not stay at home and decide not to do nothing. Do not let the government waste your time. Do not let the government you know, disturb your plans. If you're interested in following a particular career path, please look for organizations that you know, you would like to work in, and go and volunteer your service. By the time you work there a couple of months, and even when you graduate and they're looking for people, because you already have you already know their work ethics, you've already worked with them, they would rather pick you than pick, you know, a stranger. Don't you think so? So please go and volunteer your services to places where you feel like you can work. Even if it's not that exact place, go to smaller firms and volunteer your services so you can learn the ropes, you can know the job. Even aside from that, please go and learn a skill. To be honest, a lot of graduates now don't even know how to use Microsoft Excel. They don't know how to use PowerPoint. They don't know how to even Word is a challenge, you know. They don't know how to design slides. I know there are templates out there you can just download, but it's good to know the basics. If you don't know the basics, you just, you know, create a very colorful design that is not professional. So please and please and please use this period and, you know, make yourself better. Use this period and make yourself better. If you can afford to have a professional certification at this point, go for it. A lot of people are scared and say, okay, what if I start and before I finish the call of the strike? See, there's something called dialogue. There's something called if you don't do it, you would never know. That's the truth. This strike has been on since February, so you imagine the time wasted if you had been sitting on the fence and say, oh, what if I start and the call of the strike? So this is the time, this is the right time for you to start. Go and start now. If you want to go into fashion, if you want to go into modeling, go and enroll in modeling agencies now. If you want to start selling baby items, you need to understand the various things that challenges that come with starting such a business. Go and help somebody that's working, that has such an establishment, and work there. No matter, even if they're not paying you, please, the experience, the knowledge. So there's nothing that can take away experience and knowledge. There's nothing that can take away. But money, they're just paying you, you're eating, and you're not learning anything. They're two different things. So don't just be idle. Don't be a burden to your parents as at now, because now they're seeing you at home, you're like, my money is wasted. Please go and get useful in the society, okay? And do not give the devil a chance, because now the devil is just roaming the streets looking for who to devour. Do not give him a chance to come into your life. Do not involve yourself in activities that could cause harm to you or your family members or to other people at large. Thank you for tuning in again. I remain your girl Stels. Please remember to like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Ciao, ciao.